You and 10 other people decide you're going to start your own social media accounts with the goal of becoming a creator full time. You take a 30-day challenge that you're going to post every single day for those 30 days. All of you are going to post on day one. All of you are going to post on day two. I'm willing to bet that most, if not all of you, will post on day seven. What happens on day eight? What about 9, 10, 11, 12? You get where I'm going with this. It is a huge commitment. And you're going to be posting not to thousands of likes and follows and comments. You're going to be posting to pretty much nothing. Your views are going to be low. Your engagement's going to be low. You're going to question why you're doing what you're doing. And you're going to likely want to walk away. But do you know what's going to be the difference on why you are successful when everyone else leaves? The difference is that you keep going. You keep posting, you keep learning, you figure out what works better, you figure out what doesn't work, you figure out the times you need to post, you start to reply to comments, you start to comment on other people's posts, and you see those little signs of life. You get a like here and there, you get a little bit more views, you get a follow, and you use those small little wins to just keep pushing. So at the end of those 30 days, out of the 10 people that started with this goal of building a full time creator business, you are going to be the only one that is willing to do it for another 30 days and another 30 days and another. And you will get there. You will get there because most people will give up. Most people are not committed enough to follow through on a goal that they set. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And I say this as someone who is also guilty of doing this in his life many, many times. I have set goals of wanting to start a large, successful mobile app company. And I wasn't willing to show up every single day and market it and grow it and work on the app and reach out to people and build those connections. I have done this as someone who, prior to running my first marathon, I spent 10 years talking about running my first marathon. Why? Because I wanted the recognition of saying, I want to run a marathon one day without the work of saying I ran a marathon. I wanted the glory of setting the goal, but I didn't want to do the work that was required to actually achieve the goal. And unfortunately, in this world, especially with social media, we get a lot of glory for just posting about a goal. We tell people we're signing up for a 30-day challenge. We tell people we're going to run a marathon. We tell people we're starting our own business. And everyone cheers us on and gives us likes and gives us kudos and congratulates us on setting such an audacious goal. And so we get all of this like dopamine hit and we feel really good and we feel really proud of ourselves. And then it just goes away. They're not going to be there every single day to give you likes and thumbs up and comments and praise you and all of that. No, like they've moved on with their lives because they have their own stuff that they're dealing with. So you are left there then with a bunch of silence and just your thoughts. And your thoughts are immediately going to turn on you. They're going to tell you this was a dumb goal, that you're not capable of doing this. Why would you set this? Or they're going to tell you you're tired, you'll start later. This probably doesn't even make sense for you. And it's going to convince you that, hey, you gave it your best and you'll walk away from it. That, unfortunately, is the storyline for me many times in my life. That's the storyline for a lot of us many times in our life. We want the glory of the goal. We don't want to do the work it takes to get us there. And so, how do you actually change this story? How do you write a story where you set the goal and you actually complete the goal and you learn everything about yourself along the way and you're so proud of yourself for doing it? Well, it just takes doing the work. I hate to say it, it sounds so obvious, but that's the truth. It just takes doing the work. You can't get there by wishing that it is going to happen. I am a big believer in manifestation. I have a vision board set up as my desktop wallpaper on my computer. I look at it literally every single day, hours on end, and I look at all the different photos I have on there. Those are guiding lights for me. Those are reminders when it is hard, when I'm doing the work and I want to quit. Those are reminders of why I'm doing the work and why I'm not going to quit. But just simply building the vision board and setting it as my background is not enough to take me to where I want to go. And that is a hard lesson that I learned many, many times. I can't just create the vision. I can't just wish upon a well or on a star that this is going to happen for me and then just sit around and wait for it to happen for me. No one is coming to deliver my dreams on a silver platter. No one is coming to do the work for me. I have to show up and do the work. Manifestation, mantras, vision boards, all of these things help you to stay locked in on what it is you want. They help you to train your brain to look for opportunities in the space around you so that you get closer to your goal. When I'm sitting there wanting to write my next post and I want to sign off on that post, right, with a call to action, a CTA, prior to this year, I would ignore the CTA or I would have a really kind of weak one and it would just kind of hint at someone to maybe follow me. I don't want to bother you, but maybe give me a follow. I don't want to be trouble though. Thanks for stopping by. And now when I'm sitting there, I'm editing my post and I'm looking at the very last paragraph and I'm realizing there's a space there that lends itself to a call to action. I glance at my vision board desktop and I see what my goal is. My goal is to have one of the top best-selling Substack newsletters in the self-help category. And I realize that's not happening without me asking for people to follow and to share. It's just not going to happen. So that vision board sparks the push that I need to write the CTA and to work on the CTAs, to try different ones, to see which ones work and which ones don't work. But to very least do the work of putting it in there and asking for what I want. So the vision board here and the whole process of manifestation and visualizing is pushing my brain to do that extra step that I was previously never doing. You have to do the work. I can't stress that enough. You have to do the work. And it will be hard. It will be boring. You're going to want to quit. You might quit for a while. You might walk away from it. But if you are committed, if you really want what it is that you want, and you aren't just telling yourself some storyline to feel good that, oh, in theory, I want to be, an NFL player, or in theory, I want to be the best-selling Substack author, or in theory, I want to have a top-rated podcast that brings in millions of dollars one day. If you really want these things, you need to look at the people who've done those things ahead of you, and you need to study how they did it, and you need to be honest with yourself that they also didn't just sit around and have it happen for them. They worked. They grinded it out. And they didn't just work in the time period that you think that they worked, right? Like an NFL player isn't an NFL player because they just got signed by the NFL. They just got drafted. No. An NFL player got there because they spent their entire youth and childhood life playing the game of football and working with coaches and playing in college and getting stronger and getting faster and getting smarter on the field and doing the drills and building the confidence in themselves to reach that point that the NFL then drafts them. So what is it that you are chasing, and what is required for you to reach it? Pick one or two things that are going to get you closer there. To go back to the example of building a social media following, what do people with millions of followers do? They post and they comment and they reply and they create stories and they try out different content pieces and they are present on the app. Like, they make themselves available on the app. They invest their time on the app, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, Threads, it doesn't matter. They are there. They're grinding out content and they are working and showing up. So how can you expect to compete with them when you post once a week and you don't even reply to comments that you get, and you don't even follow other people and hype them up, and you're just kind of like treating it as a side gig, as a hobby at best? And hey, if that's what you want, I'm not judging you. That's great. But be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself that then you probably don't want to have a full-time job as a creator, because it's in the name. Like, if it's your full-time job, that you got to be working for it full time. It's not something you do every now and then. It's not something that you do when you remember that you need to do it. It is what you wake up and you do the work. You do what you can control. You focus on what's ahead of you. You post the videos, you try out different content pieces, you reply to comments. You've heard me say it a million times. I'm really trying to drill this into you. Whatever it is that you are after, you have to learn what the work is that you need to do to get there, and then you got to do the work. In conclusion, you can walk away with one of two feelings about this. One, you can feel discouraged, which is totally normal. I mean, that's like me on most days. I look at the amount of work that's ahead of me for what I want to do in my life, and I'm like, that's a lot of work. And I don't want to do most of it, at least not in this moment. Like my brain instantly kicks in and is like, oh, wouldn't you just rather watch Netflix or The Office for the 100th time? Like the 100th time this year. Honestly, I watched that show on repeat. And yeah, like that's normal. You're going to probably let a huge sigh out of your body and just feel exhausted by all of it. That's one way you can walk away from this. The second way is the more powerful way. And you can realize that, hey, I am actually in control of what I'm in control of. Sounds like an obvious statement, but what I mean is that I can control what videos I'm posting. I can control when I'm posting it. I can control reading about how to become a creator. I can control following people who have done it already successfully and learning from them and growing from them, and maybe even connecting with them and asking them how they did it and do they have any tips for you. There are a million things that are in your control to get closer to what you want. So don't get discouraged. Don't feel exhausted by all the work. All you need to do is focus on what you can control today. What is one thing, one or two things that you can do this week, that you can do this month, that is going to get you closer to your goal? That's all you need to worry about. Everything else will take care of itself. And you'll find that as you focus on that one thing, it's going to become really easy. It's going to become just habitual, and like you don't even think about it anymore. It becomes just part of your routine. And then that's when you can start to wonder, well, what else could I be doing? And you learn a new skill, or you expand your skill set to now include creating stories every single day. Like you realize that whenever you do 2 or 3 stories on Instagram, you tend to get more followers and more reach. And you're like, cool, I'm going to fold that into my practice. And it grows and it grows and it grows. And one day someone's going to follow you, and they're going to look at your 1,000,000 followers, and they're going to wonder how you did it. And they're going to be so amazed and so jealous. And they're going to be asking you how you did it. And you're going to very proudly and very honestly tell them, I did the work. That's all there is to it. I did the work. I grinded it out. I did it when no one was paying attention. I did it when I got no views. I did it when no one was liking my content. If you scroll back far enough, you will see that those early videos looked terrible and they had no feedback and no engagement. But I just kept doing it until they started being a little less terrible and they got a little bit more engagement. And I started to pick up followers. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Confidence is built through movement. You have to show up. You've got to move. You've got to build that muscle in you, and you're going to get more and more confident as you do it. You're going to feel terrible in the beginning. It's it's totally normal, but the more you do it, the less terrible you are going to feel, and the more you're going to love what you're doing and start to feel really good about it. And that's where that confidence then gives you more movement and more momentum to do even more things and to grow your business and grow your following and pursue your goal. And then that's just going to make you feel even more confident. So it's this incredible feedback loop that happens. But it all starts with you taking those first steps. It all starts with you being uncomfortable and unsure of yourself, and frankly, maybe even unwilling to do it, but you do it anyway. No song of the week this week. I just want you to think about all these thoughts. Be honest with yourself. What do you have ahead of you? Reach out. Let's chat about it. If you want someone to chat about it, I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. You can find me at The Forward Theory. Have a great rest of your week. Talk to you soon.